Listening Post at this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back in our continuing coverage of the unrest in Libya. Let's give you now a recap of the latest developments there. The Turkish Prime Minister has warned Libya's government of making a mistake if it chooses to disregard its people's demands. The United Nations Right Chief has raised the possibility of crimes against humanity in Libya. The Egyptian army, meanwhile, has beefed up its military presence on the border with Libya. And the Arab League is expected to hold an emergency meeting on Thursday to discuss the situation in the country. And we're hearing that Italy will send a military aircraft to Libya on Tuesday to evacuate all of its nationals from the North African country. Now, Al Jazeera has more information now on the bombardment of the capital by military jets on Monday night. Our sources tell us that the bombing was focused on army ammunition depots near Tripoli. Jets also targeted command centers. It seems to stop any troops from joining the protesters, or perhaps to stop protesters getting hold of the weapons. And witnesses say helicopter gunships were used to fire on the streets in order to scare demonstrators away. Well, the UN Security Council will be holding a closed session at 1400 hours GMT in New York to discuss the deteriorating situation in Libya. The country's deputy ambassador to the UN is also unhappy with what's going on. Ibrahim Dabashi told my colleague Kamal Santamaria that it was time for Gaddafi to get out.
Well, we don't agree with anything the regime is doing. We are in the service of the people, according to even the Colonel Gaddafi philosophy. We are in the service of the people. We have never been in the service of the regime, and now we are in the disposition of the Libyan people to serve him. Certainly, the Libyan mission to the United Nations is the Libyan people's mission, and we are here to serve the Libyan people. What's going Libya is a real genocide against the Libyan people. The Colonel Gaddafi is shooting his own people, and really the international community has to take a clear position about against the regime. I think they cannot wait much longer. What's going now cannot keep anyone silent. I don't speak to Colonel Gaddafi. The only thing I tell him on the air now, he has to get out. Either he get out or the Libyan people will kick him out anyway. So that's what he has to know. And I think he knows it. He knows it, and he's trying to just delay his fate. I think it is the end of the game. I think the fact he's continuing to kill his own people is the fact that the whole regime is trembling, and we will soon see the fall of this regime.
Well, with us in the studio to analyze this situation in Libya is Awad El Faytouri from the Libyan Information Center here in Doha. You know, when you hear senior Libyan diplomats criticizing Muammar Gaddafi, it's certainly very astonishing. Did you ever think that this would happen?
Well, I never thought that moment. I'll see this happening in my lifetime, but it is happening, and this tells you about the people's feeling towards Gaddafi and towards his regime, and especially the people who are working in his embassies. They're supposed to be, Gaddafi's revolutionary councils and people from closest circles of Gaddafi's. Even these people now, yeah.
Even these people, as you say, are criticizing him now. What do you make of his response and his behavior 42 years now after he came to power himself in a coup? How do you analyze his strategy, if he has a strategy indeed?
I don't think he has a time to make any strategies now. In my opinion, the only strategy for Gaddafi is how to get out of the present situation. Gaddafi has no choice but to leave. He has to go. He has to
So
be the change.
if he goes, what would his succession look like in Libya?
Well, we've seen this situation in Tunisia, and we've seen it in Egypt, and I don't think it will be much different in Libya. Libya has a lot of educated people who are able to run the country, and actually, we even in better position in Tunisia and in Egypt. We don't have sects or classes in Libya, so it will be smoother and easier to run a country after Gaddafi. So it's just Gaddafi. We just want to get rid of him. That's all. Now, this is what we're concentrating on now.
Okay, thank you so much, Awad El Faitouri, for now. Let's get an update now from our web desk. Over to you, Nazneen Sadri. What's the latest?
Thanks, Folly. Well, social media is playing such a big part in giving us updates from the ground in Libya. That's given, of course, the restrictions foreign journalists have had entering the country so far. Our web team are putting together all the information we're getting, both from our own reporters on the border, guest analysts and witnesses from Libya. That's all on our website. You can also see some of the Twitter messages and videos being posted on blogs. You can go to our website, aljazeera.net/English, for all the latest there. So let me show you now some of those videos that we are getting in. They have been posted on the website Feb 17th that's aggregating these images. We must say, of course, that it's difficult to verify any of these independently. These are pictures from the town Al-Khums on the Mediterranean coast of Libya. People there are chanting in solidarity with those in Benghazi. They're also saying this is the end of Gaddafi and broadcast this, Al Jazeera. And this video is said to show people gathering in Green Square in Tripoli on Sunday night. The blogger says it was filmed after Saif Gaddafi spoke on state television. That was the night that we reported lots of gun battles and clashes. Well, hashtag Gaddafi and Tripoli are still trending highly on the Twitter site. Let's have a look at some of them. Ali Twill, who we believe is tweeting from inside Libya, just wrote, "West side of Tripoli this morning, some gunfire, but people are out trying to do their business." And an anonymous writer posted, "Over 100 bodies of soldiers who refused to follow orders found in camp in Benghazi in mass grave." And another one writes, "We have reached the point of no return. We know if we don't die in the streets, they'll kill us in our own houses." Of course, I'll keep monitoring those tweets and we'll have more for you throughout the day. But for now, it's back to you, Folly.
Thank you very much, Nazneen. Now, moving on to other news, and hundreds of students in Yemen are continuing to demand the resignation of President Ali Abdullah Saleh. Riot police in the capital, Sana'a, kept watch of the crowd who chanted slogans such as Youth Revolution. Scuffles later broke out against supporters of the regime. At least 11 people have been killed since anti-government protests erupted earlier this month. Political rallies, meanwhile, in Bahrain continue unabated. Pro-democracy protesters have begun another day of their sit-in at the Pearl Roundabout in the capital, Manama. The area has become a focal point for anti-government demonstrations. It was the scene of violence last week that left 8 people dead. On Monday night, a rally was held in support of the government.